All right, guys, welcome back for another episode of Take the 8 Count. Tonight, I got the pleasure to interview future world light heavyweight champion. Excuse me, Atif Oberlton, also known as Lord Pretty Calvo, 8-0, 6 knockouts. This man's got insane power. Atif, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me, man.
Of course, thank you. All right, so my first question is, what age did you start boxing at?
About like 9, but in and out the gym, and then once I turned 14, I stayed in the gym since then.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Now, were you always tall growing up, or did you hit like a growth spurt when you were like a teenager?
I had the growth spurt when I was like 14, 13, 14. I hit the growth spurt. I was a short, chubby kid at first.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And I thinned out as I got taller.
All right. Um, did you play any other sports growing up, or was just boxing your main focus?
Boxing was my main focus, but I was in the on a football team before. Football is actually the way I actually got into boxing because I was fighting in football practice and stuff like that, and they just took me down to the basement. My dad took me down to the basement because I've been wanting to box because my uncle had a boxing bag in the house with boxing gloves, but my mom told me no. And then I was still fighting in football practice. And then my dad was like, come on, let's go downstairs to the basement. And that's when the fighting started.
Oh, wow, cool. What was your position in football?
I think I was a defensive lineman, but as a kid, all I knew was a quarterback, running back, wide receiver. So
Yeah.
I'm just thinking in my head, if they go and this guy's pushing me down on the floor. So we have a problem.
Yeah, no, I was probably in the same boat as you as a teenager. Like I thought that I was gonna be, the next Peyton Manning or something, but nah, no way. I had bigger dreams, but nope. All right, now let's talk about your amateur background. You have a pretty decorated amateur background. So why don't you tell everybody your records, your achievements, and when you're ready to go pro?
um, Say that again. You were breaking up at the
Oh,
at the end
sorry.
part.
Yeah. I said for your could you talk about your amateur background, your record, your achievements, and when you're ready to go pro?
Oh, okay. I had about over 100 amateur fights. Not really many losses. I say I lost about 4 of like the amateur fights. Politics and all that. Robberies and dumb stuff in between there. But my first national I won was the National Junior Olympics, and my first national to the I made it to the semifinals in the Silver Glove Nationals with only 5 fights, and I won my first national with only 10 fights. Um, then the youth, I was the runner up for the youth, but I really should have won that. Then I'm a 2-time men's national Golden Glove champion. I've been on the USA team for about 2-3 years. And I'm also Olympic alternate. I went overseas several times. I fought in a duel against Netherlands. I just did a lot of stuff in the amateurs, man. Like you said, it's
Yeah.
really. I'm proud of it. Do I wish I was an Olympian and went to get a gold medal? Of course, that was my biggest dream. That's why I waited to turn pro so late. But with all that being said, it just gave me more experience and just nothing beats experience. Knowing that what you've been through and knowing how to perform moving forward. So we here now. I turned pro after becoming an Olympic alternate, which I felt was a political thing,
Mhm.
and I was just ready to turn over a new leaf.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm definitely a true believer in life too. That everything happens for a reason. So there was a reason, I guess, why you were a alternate, and plus you had all those experiences, and it made you a stronger, definitely a better fighter to this day. For
Yeah,
sure.
really makes you a man.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. All right, now let's talk about your pro debut. This one's one of my favorite questions to show if boxers are human, or maybe it was just another fight for you since you had over 100 fights. But your pro debut, was on a Caleb Plant card, which is very impressive, first off. So you fought January 30th, 2021 against Nathan Davis Sharp. You got him out of there in the third round, knockout. But prior to the fight, did you have any nerves, or were you just excited to get in there?
Yes, I had nerves. Yes, I'm human. uh, so my whole thing was, I fought overseas plenty of times with no headgear, but the whole thing is, they say the gloves, the professional gloves, are more thinner and smaller. So that's what I was worried about, that. And I always had a pro style, so I wasn't really worried about that. I just sped my pace up as an amateur. But also the thing of, oh, a lot of people, they just say they was just a great amateur. So it was also passing that test in my head, and also how would these gloves feel, and different stuff like that. And once I got in there and I did my thing, I rarely get hit. But when he did finally hit me, and I'm like, oh, that's it. And then that I just went in there and did my thing. But it was a whole big thing. And then also it being televised on television, it was a lot of anxiety in it, man. But that's what it's all about. A lot of these guys get on here and, like you said, they act like they're
Oh
robots, and
yeah.
they and say, "Oh, I'm not nervous or anything." And, even Sugar Ray Robinson, who's the greatest fighter of all time, arguably people say. And the thing with him, he always said, the day you stop getting nervous, you should stop. Even he got nervous, and he had over 200 something fights. So it's
Mhm.
completely normal. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you or you're a punk. It means you're wired the right way, the
Mhm.
correct way. The difference between the hero and the coward is they both have the same feelings. It's just what the hero chooses to do.
Yeah. No, I 1,000% agree. Plus, I feel like everybody should be nervous, like even for like an everyday person, if you're, going in for your work promotion, it's totally fine to be nervous and all. But yeah, no, I think it's normal for a fighter to get nervous because it just means you're ready to rock, and sometimes you need that jab to the head in order to be like, okay, I'm ready to get settled.
Exactly.
Yeah. So your first three fights again that I stated, unbelievable. You were on PBC cards, you were all over Twitter, social media, streaming sites and all. What was that experience like? Like, were you like, wow, this is insane? Like, how are you feeling overall, and like getting all like the professional ism there and all too?
I've been in it, like, in this game so long, and having such big dreams and big vision for
Mhm.
myself, that when at that time when it was going on, all of the things I've been through, and the stuff that would have made anybody quit, or a lot of people quit if they wasn't strong enough to get up to that point in my career. I felt like it was much deserved, and I deserved to be in that spotlight, and I was ready to take on everything that came with it. So it wasn't really a shocker for me. It was more of a, like, about time type of thing.
That's
And what was
awesome.
was it another question behind that?
It was just like, what was it like, to go to like the photo shoots, the press
Oh,
conferences and stuff. Like, it had to be like awesome, just like
yeah,
having your first three fights like that. It's like, oh my god, this is crazy.
yeah, I enjoyed the photo shoot. I enjoyed the photo shoot and the video thing. They had me do shadow boxing, and to see it actually come alive on the television screen, and even just to tell of the tape, and they got me right
Oh
there. It's decent. It's real cool. And also, man, PBC, they treat me real nice when we because I my first few fights, it was in a bubble, and
yeah,
they
oh
just
yeah.
a hotel. The food they gave us was awesome. They was just, real warm welcoming, man. PBC was great, man. I love PBC. And also our names match up. PBC, Premier Boxing Champions. I'm a Premier Boxing Champion, and I'm a pretty boy. I'm Pretty Boy Calvo. So it all goes to we look good together, I feel like.
Yeah, I like it. Okay. You're actually, I think, or I could be wrong, I think you're my first fighter that I interviewed that actually was in the bubble, because I interviewed a couple top ranked guys and they were like telling me everything. Where like you weren't allowed to leave like, was it the same as you guys where like you weren't able to leave your hotel room, or like they had like a treadmill on the same floor, but somebody had to go with you and stuff in order to work out and cut and stuff?
Yeah, it was stuff like that. Pretty much you want to
Oh,
stay putting. And I mean, pretty much you want to stay put on the floor that you're on, like you
Yeah,
said, and you work out stuff and all that. Yeah, it was like that. Yep.
man, that had to be so weird, but also like it probably didn't even bother you because you were just excited to finally fight on a PBC card and all. So like it probably didn't really affect you.
It didn't bother me because I was just locked in. I don't
Yeah,
need to all about all around the town anyway when I'm about to
right.
fight. I what I need to handle and handle it.
Okay. Now, of course, your first few fights, you were a house on fire. One of my favorite things is you got great power and you have a great jab too to keep your opponents off and also to control the ring and all. Um, but you had your first bout go to distance against Robert Burwell. What did you take from that experience of going all 6 rounds with him?
Uh, I always known this my whole life, but don't underestimate your opponent,
Hmm.
and also don't chase the knockout. Just 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 let it come in behind the work. Whatever you doing, just be you and do you, and don't chase it. It'll come. When the knockout's supposed to come, it's supposed to come. And I think that was the difference between me not getting him out of there. He knew how to survive, and early on, I shot my loader really trying to get him out of there because I felt like the guy he didn't stand a chance and he didn't deserve to be in there with me. So it's just all about patience and behind the consistency of your work and what you're doing in there and your IQ. Everything plays a part,
Yeah.
but part of being a pro, just let it happen naturally.
Yeah. And you really hit the nail on that one too. I mean, it was definitely a great experience and all. And now you know exactly what to do and all. So yeah.
Exactly.
And plus, on the cards too, total domination, so like you were in full control of the fight. It was just the guy that, was a tough one. You weren't able to get the KO, but hey, you wound up leaving with the dub.
Yeah, he's the first one that got away.
I know, yeah, yeah. He'll probably be in a trivia question like 20 years from now when people are going over your boxing career.
Yeah.
For sure. Um. Oh yeah. So I did notice. So next Friday, like it's just gonna be short of almost a full calendar year that you had the layoff. Was everything okay, or like did you have like an injury, or was there any like personal issues? Was everything okay?
Well, you know, majority of the time it's just me waiting to get the fight and but
Okay.
stand in the gym. But oddly, this time it was an injury. I had a injury with my knee, my left knee. I think it was IT band syndrome, and I couldn't do the road work that I wanted to do. As fighters, you always told to do your road work for your conditioning. So I didn't trust going in there and fighting if I'm not 100%. So I had
Okay.
to take time off for that. And in the meantime, dealing with real life. Life happens, outside of just boxing that people don't see. They just see fighters and warriors, but it's stuff you go through, family stuff, financial stuff and just everything personal. So just dealing with those things too and just, standing strong in the storm of adversity and getting through it.
Well, that's great to hear that you recovered from your injury, and yeah, and I'm glad everything worked out where you're back in the ring for next Friday because I'm sure majority of the fans are going to be there to see you, and they're going to be really excited to see you back in there for sure.
It's gonna
Um,
be a good thing.
yeah. So next Friday, you got an opponent that's got a lot of fights, a lot of rounds. Cleotis Pendravis. Um, what have you seen anything on him, or is there anything specific that you have as like a game plan for Friday?
I've seen things on them and my game plan is just, total destruction. whatever, whatever, whatever needs to work that night, I'm gonna make sure it works. As far as the game plan, I just go in there and be me. Ain't nobody else smart than me. My boxing IQ is there. Everything is there. The work is put in. I'm strong. I'm fast. Whatever. If you want to even look at all that stuff, but the main thing with me is this and this, and I'm just, it comes to a certain thing. What makes certain fighters special, you know, than others is the mindset. And my mindset is just made up that nobody is doing nothing with me. So as long as it's that, then that's the reality. The only person that can beat me is me.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Great answer. I like that. Um, Now one thing about boxing and boxers love is trust and honesty. Now, why don't you talk about the relationship with your boxing team and how important that has been through your young professional career?
Well, I have a new team now. I have a new head coach. I've been training with Tommy and Kello,
Oh, nice. Okay.
out of Pittsburgh. Yeah, and also Coach Daniel Solly. He helps me when I'm back at home and helps me get ready and stay ready for for camp and
Yeah,
everything. And it's just great to have him around me. I know he genuinely cares about me, and that's the thing that's hard to find is people that really care about you in the sport because in all reality, people really don't. They just look at you as somebody, they can get out of you. And Tom, he's a teacher. I was looking for a teacher, that want the same goals and achievements that I want out of the sport for themselves. And he want the same thing. He wants to be completely dominant and show the world exactly who the best is. He feels like he the best. I feel like I'm the best. And when we come together and mesh, it's just gonna be a beautiful thing of boxing. It's going to be a beautiful display, something like a custom model of Mike Tyson.
I like
It's
it.
just like it goes in.
Awesome. Now, I did hear that you did say that he's based out of Pittsburgh. Are most of your training camps out there, or do you still train home in Philly too to get ready?
No, when I go to training camp, I come here. When I'm
Oh,
home and
okay.
just doing what I do and in rhythm, I just I train back in Philly.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Hmm.
Now Marshall Kaufman signed you at a young age. How has that relationship been with Marshall? I mean, obviously he's definitely looked out for you on like the cards and all. So how's the relationship been?
Pretty decent.
Pretty good. It's all right. All right. My last boxing question for you before we get into rapid fire. I always like to ask this towards the end of my interviews. So what's your goals for this year? How many fights are you looking to have? Is there a certain fighter you have your eye on too to get you up in them rankings for later in the year too? What you got planned?
Um, my goals for this year is to just stay as active as possible, win everything, look pretty doing it like I always do. Um, I didn't have my eyes, and a lot of people ask me in these interviews, and I don't mean to like, you know, be uninteresting or something like that,
Right.
but they ask me for names and do you see
Yeah.
this guy? And I don't care. Hey, if you in a way to where I need to go, then it's just gonna be that. So I
Right.
really, in terms of that, no.
Okay.
What I'm looking at is the guys with the belts that's keeping my belts warm. So if anybody in between, that's coming in between me and my championship and me and my career, and something has to happen to where they have to sign on that dotted line, and I have to sign on that dotted line, then it's on.
I like that.
They got to
Awesome
get knocked out the
answer.
way, and that's just how.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank
no.
you.
Yeah, awesome answer. Yeah, no, because like I'll see a lot of interviews or like I'll wait for like a lot of reporters to like interview the fighters before I get my chance, and I always hear them all the time. What do you think about this guy, this guy, this guy? Now, like that's why like I love asking the goals, but since like you're like closer in the rankings, I was like, is there a certain guy maybe you're looking at? But no, that was a good answer though. that was that was a good one. Um,
All I see is Lord Pretty Calvin and just the belts. That's all I see.
yeah, perfect. All right, so now we're in rapid fire. So you can answer this short as possible, or if you want to elaborate on it. So it's all fun questions to get to know you. You ready?
All right,
All right. So who was the best sparring partner you ever had?
David Morrell.
David Morrell?
Yeah, David Morrell. I only one, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bottle Jack.
okay.
Bottle Jack.
You can
Because
name a
at that
couple
age,
more.
yeah, he gave me a chance. He gave me a chance at 17 to get in there when he was getting ready for James DeGale for the super middleweight championship of the world. And just to be in there with a world champion, a multi time world champion,
Yeah.
it was a major accomplishment, for me, and I appreciate him for that.
Oh my God, it's 17? That is awesome. I didn't even know about
Yeah.
that.
After I won my first national Golden Glove, I sparred him at Floyd Mayweather's gym.
Wow, that is cool. I didn't even know that. Wow. That's a good one.
That's why I switch it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all good. What's your favorite boxing movie of all time?
Oh man, that's Rockies. All the
Rocky,
Rockies.
okay.
All the Rockies.
All the Rockies. I like it. All right.
Hmm.
Um, what so other than boxing, what's your favorite hobby that you enjoy?
Putting these clothes on, spending time with family, you know, all that type of, pretty stuff,
I like it.
Getting fly, getting fly, getting fly, having fun, family, spending time with my boo and all that.
I like it. Good answer. Um, so if someone made a movie about your life, what celebrity would you want to play you?
Like past, present.
It could be anybody you want. Yes. So I left it open ended in case there's someone in the past too. It don't matter about their age.
And they could be deceased or they can't be deceased.
Yeah. Yep.
Pop, pop, pop,
Tupac? Oh, I like that. Okay.
pop. Yeah, Pac or X, DMX.
Oh, okay. DMX or Pac. I like it. Um so what would your dream fight be of all time? It could be like any weight class or like it could be a past fighter. Like what would be your dream fight ever? It could be again. It
These
could
these
be any any
questions are
any weight class.
these questions are fun, man. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Um, all love and respect, Muhammad Ali,
Oh, I like that. Okay.
because I'm in this thing, for the title of being the greatest fighter ever, and he has that. He has that. So out of a respect thing, it's like, come on, let's do it. I respect the greats though, so no greats from the past I would ever want to fight, but that'll be the dream match.
That's a good one. I like that one.
And
Um
respectfully, not saying like, oh yeah, I'll beat him and don't. No, respectfully, it's like, I respect you, man. Let's do it.
that's awesome. Now obviously, the both of us growing up in Philly, we're blessed, just growing up and putting on the TV and watching incredible fighters here. Who was one fighter that you really looked up to? What was your Philadelphia fighter that you really enjoyed?
So, we talking like film way before my time, any time, or
It
are
could
we
be
talking
any,
about like as a
yeah,
kid
any,
growing up?
yeah, like, yeah, it could even be someone from like the past that you like enjoyed watching, whether it was on like YouTube or like on TV. Like, what was one Philly fighter that you like really enjoyed watching? It could even be a
Um,
past one too. Yeah,
so many legends.
I
So that's what
know,
I'm saying.
I know, it's crazy.
I love watching George Benton. All of the guys that paved the way. Tyrell Biggs gave me pad work when I was like an 11-year-old kid. I'll
Oh
never
wow,
forget that. Um, Damon Allen Jr.
Baby Dame. Okay,
Dang, me watching him in the gym growing up. Outlaw was sharp.
Greg Outlaw.
Um,
Okay.
no, Eric Hunter.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, woo. Influences. Man, that's why I don't like to be disrespectful. Um, Before me now let me throw it back to Jeff Chandler. I love watching some Jeff Chandlers. I love watching those guys, Tyrone Everett. Um, it's just lit, man. Philadelphia boxing history is rich with the legends, man.
Oh
I
yeah,
appreciate them.
1000%. I know for like me, for like I'd probably say what Bernard Hawkins did, like especially going to New York and fighting Felix Trinidad and beating him. That was wild. And I loved watching Danny Swift Garcia. When he beat Eric Morales, and then he also won the interim belt against Robert the Ghost.
Yeah, yeah, he did his thing too.
He
Yeah,
did.
Danny definitely too. And he's still in there. He's still in there competing and doing his thing. He looked
Yeah,
impressive. I looked real good his last fight. I like the jab up and down to the body and the head he did. I watched
he
that a few
looked.
times.
Yeah, he looked really good at 154. I'm hoping that fight against Lara happens. For the belt. That would be awesome. I feel like he's got a good chance against Lara, but Lara's older, but he does have that power still. But I feel like it'd be a good fight.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a good fight.
All right. My last two questions for you are food related. What's your favorite cheat meal?
Man, I love food, man. Like anything that I'm not supposed to is my favorite cheat meal. But I don't know, man. Just put burgers, pizza. I'm with all the food, man. I'm with all the food. That inner chubby kid I told you about
Yeah,
is still in me. Do not get it twisted.
yeah,
Um, it's just, yeah, it's
yeah.
there.
I feel like me and you would get along well on your cheat day then.
Yeah, man. Out and get some good food. I'm with it. I know you know
Yeah,
some good food spots, right?
I'm in.
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
I
oh
don't. I
yeah,
don't. Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
you on the
So we
food spots. All right.
definitely. I heard about the cheesesteak bar too.
Oh
Did you
really?
hear about?
No, I
I
didn't
heard
hear about
about that.
that.
Oxtail cheesesteaks, jerk chicken cheesesteaks. Oh
Oh
man.
man,
Yeah.
I'll have to try that. Okay. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Now speaking about steaks, I asked this for all the fighters because it's like funny to hear all the different cheesesteak spots. But what's your favorite cheesesteak spot when you're home in Philly?
Jim's, hands down. I
Jim's?
grew up off of Jim's, Philadelphia. Jim's got the best tasting. Man, I hope ain't nobody trying to sponsor me. I'm sorry, but me, Jim's is where it's at. That hit home. Them Jim steaks when I was growing up ain't nothing like it, man. Jim's, but Ishkabibbles got the best fries though. Them cheese fries
Okay.
be nice. They put the cheese fries on them joints.
All right. Yeah, I got them and I went to Temple University. So I never got to go to Max's Steaks, as crazy as that sounds. So I got them on my list too to try eventually.
I had breakfast before.
Yeah? You seem
Yeah,
like you're not
I like.
impressed.
No, I had Pat. I like Pats. I never had Geno's.
You never had
I like
Geno's?
Pat. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm actually the opposite. I had a Geno's. Geno's has really good cheese whiz with their steak, and they don't chop it up. So it's
That's
actually
what I
like,
heard.
yeah, they don't chop it up, but like I think the cheese whiz just really makes it though for a Geno's. But yeah, I got to give Pat a try though eventually.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, listen, it was awesome chatting with you. I had a lot of fun with this interview, and I hope that you did too. Can't wait to see you next Friday. I know it's going to be a great show.
Yeah, this was a very fun interview, man. Like I'm sad it's ending. You did keep it up, man. This is you had great questions, the energy and everything. Like you told me before we get on, it definitely was A1. Will you be at the fight?
Oh hell yeah, definitely. I'm
All right,
there.
man. We got a picture, man. Don't dodge me.
We got it definitely, and also I'm sure you're gonna want to go out after the fight, but inside live casinos they actually have Genos, so we could try it out. They got it inside
All right.
live.
That sounds good to And that sounds good to me off of a victory.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, Atif, thank you so much. I'll see you next Friday. All right.
All right. Thanks for having me. See you
All
then.
right. Appreciate you. I'll see you.
Bye.